What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. It is the 18th day of November, and here we are at about $2.23 right now with 5 hours and 4 minutes left in this day. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It's nice to see that XRP does have higher lows here, especially considering that Bitcoin itself has lower lows, dramatically lower lows too. It's not even close. It's nice to see this little bit of a difference here, showing life, showing support. Not only that, but you're also in another way showing life because you're bullishly engulfing yesterday's candle here. You're showing a lot of life off of this area for support. It's kind of like a double bottom in this overall zone. I wouldn't count this as a low on the wick here, so I really do think that you've got some kind of double bottom going on, and the reaction that we're seeing is exactly what you'd want to see. If we look at this on a 1 hour time frame, you are getting volume. You're coming in with some volume, right? Volume died off as you're moving lower. It's starting to build as you're moving higher. That's good. We don't have a whole lot of volume on this candle, to be fair. 3 minutes left, but we don't need it. We're not necessarily breaking out of this range or anything. I want to be clear. I very much do believe XRP is going to move up from here, but even if we do come back down, even if you're watching this video and we're at like 217, 214, even if we're below this low, I would still believe that we recover. Maybe we've just mistimed the low, but I would still believe that we recover. So don't fret if we do go lower. However, if Bitcoin seeing lower lows was not enough for you to see lower lows, I'm kind of under the impression that we're at a low point here. Bullish divergence on our RSI, on our stochastics, and the MACD. MACD's crossing above the zero. We're overbought on the stochastics. We have not gotten overbought yet on the RSI, yet being the key word, but when we do, we should be. I would think that when we get overbought on the RSI, we will also be breaking this downtrend here. And when we break it, we're not just going to see a little wick like this. We're going to see a nice solid break, right? Like here, whenever you broke your downtrend, whenever you broke this trending line here, this lower, lower high line, when you broke that, it was a nice pop. That's what I would imagine we get, is some kind of nice pop here that takes us higher. If we're looking at this on the 4 hour time frame, zooming out a little bit, I think this double bottom stands out a little bit more. The area of which we could expect to go to promptly would be like 234 to maybe $2.50, somewhere in that range. 234 to 250. We're at 223 right now. I want to take, I think that high, is that on the 26th, 27th? Yeah, that high right there. That's fine. We'll take this high to this low. And we'll see that we went all the way up, all the way through our golden ratio on the first attempt to the 786. You pulled back through the 236, actually. Found support right at your 069, right there. Perfect support. And now you're looking to come back up. I would expect that there will be turbulence along the way, but ultimately, once we get above this 786 area, once we get above these highs here at about $2.55, $2.58, when we get above there, we should see some expansion that takes us to our primary target zone, our 1272 to the 1618 level, something at $2.90 to $3.18. And again, looking at this on the 4 hour time frame, we could see this happen by the end of this week. The end of the week is over here. It's like, let's see. This is the end of the week right here. We could absolutely see some movement that takes us up here by the end of the week. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if we were at 290 or higher by the end of this week. I would be surprised if we couldn't get above $2.60 by the end of this week. I do think that we see some more growth. Again, this is the 4 hour time frame. It doesn't mean we have to move right now. This is like over the days to come, like over the next like 3 to 5 days, maybe even like a week's worth of price action. But I do think that we'll see that going forward. Looking at the RSI, a little bit of a double bottom on the oversold zone. Same thing with the stochastics coming up. You look bullish here. And on your MACD, you also have bullish divergence on your MACD, actually. Very severe bullish divergence on the MACD there. I think that we're getting set up for something bigger, you guys. Hold on. I got to sneeze. Hold on. There we go. I said damn it while the mic was muted. I don't know if you could see that, but because I like looked, the sun got me. If you look at the sun, I feel like it takes away your sneezes most of the time. Some people say if you look at the sun, it gives you sneezes, but man, that sun is powerful right here, you guys. I got to be at just the right level of leaning here, level of leanage, so that I'm not blinded. We're gonna get blasted. Let's do it. Screw it. All right, so here we are. I like to lean back. I like to be in like the middle, right? Not all the way up here. Anyways, $2.23 right now. Looking at the daily time frame, The 4-hour time frame had some bullish divergence on the MACD. The daily time frame also has bullish divergence on the MACD. We have divergence dating back to the 10th of October. Look at this, guys. Low, higher low, higher low, higher low, all the while providing lower lows. Yeah, we've got very severe bullish divergence at the base of this overall range that we're in with a double bottom. I can't hand a bullish engulfing candle. I can't imagine a better scenario to be in. XRP is literally going to be on a one-stop, non-stop mission, I think, to higher prices. Again, 280 to 320, somewhere in that range is what we're expecting. After that, after we see this voluptuous move come into play, really once we're back above $3, we will officially be breaking out of this lower high trend that we've had since July. And that should lead to a greater breakout overall. We break out of this over here, we're breaking out of this over here, which is like a year's worth of consolidation. And with that, we should see a rather sizable extension into these next levels, these new all-time high levels. And I do think, if we take this high here, the very first high to the low of this range, we're looking at it on a weekly time frame actually. The next target areas to consider would be something of like $4.16 to $5.40. And then after that, $6.58 to $11.35. And once we get above $11.35, it's $13.86 to $16.42. I expect we'll find turbulence along the way, but ultimately, sometime between now and the end of January, it'll be faster than how I have it drawn. Sometime between now and the end of January, I think we'll be up here. We really will see a move that more or less replicates this. And I say more or less, there's going to be resistance points at various areas. We might pull back more, but just more or less, we're going to be moving up in a line like this to the end of January, where we will be at 1386 to 1642. If we don't see life between now and the end of this month, then I might rethink that. I still think that this is our next target whenever we break out. I think, or not our next target. This is our next target. This is the secondary target, and this is our finale. This is where we think we're going to go for this next move up. We think we have higher to go than that, even by the end of the cycle. To be clear, I still very much believe XRP will see prices above $40 by the end of the cycle. I don't think the cycle's over yet. The bull market's not dead yet. But $16 to $14 is the target area implied by the end of January. If we don't see life, if we're not above $3 by the end of this month of November, we'll have to rethink that. Okay. Doesn't mean that we won't get there, just means we won't get there by the end of January. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.